Hello and welcome to a Cars Smart Motorsport video. On this one we're joined by a special guest, so there will actually be a couple of us commentating, and we are in the FT1500. Can you tell us a bit about this car?
Certainly can. Hi there. Right, the car is based on the 1985 Lotus, used to be driven by Ayrton Senna. It's 986 horsepower, 730 kilos, all going through a 5-speed gearbox. Expect wheel spin and expect a snappy car.
So a lot of power and less weight. I believe the first one's at Monza. What should we be worried about at Monza?
Well, Monza, the first chicane is always carnage. There's nearly always an incident there. Second chicane, Della Roggia, there's usually quite a few incidents as well. But after that, the track generally tends to settle out and people start finding their place.
Excellent, that's lovely then. Well, let's get on with it and let's get Monza rolling. So hopefully we're going to flick over to the start. As we can see, the lights going out. Are they going out? And they're out, and we're away.
It's a good start from Tepic there. He's got a very good start, but look at Robbie. Robbie's coming up right on with Tepic's gearbox and going into the first corner. Is he going to make a move into the first corner? Yes, he is. And that's okay.
There looks like there's some carnage at the back there. Don't that look like Interfire there? We had Interfire doing a massive spin there. We're going to need to see that again, I believe. We're going to need. And Paul Tepic there is now down to last.
Yeah,
what's gone on there? We're going to have to take this back.
Pole sitter, stone dead last. That's not a good look. So let's have a ride on board. What do we see?
Who are we on board with? PC co-leader. Oh God, it's all a bit too fast. I can't really. There's cars colliding and spinning, but I can't quite see who was involved and who started that really.
Yeah, we'll need to look at that in slow motion again. So, here we go. Right, so we're on board with Angus. He's okay at the moment. Everything's okay. Right, a couple of wheels on the grass, and yeah, I think he gets caught out by Victor.
Let's watch it from another view. We watched that from Angus. Let's see if we can watch it from PC Cola, because I think he was a bit further back and we might be able to actually see. So let's have a look.
Okay, here we go.
Talk us through this.
Slow motion. So we've got Paul gets a couple of wheels on the grass. Yeah, Victor slows up a little bit. He's trying to do his best to avoid any potential carnage that's coming up. Unfortunately, that's caught everyone else behind them off guard, and just basically carnage has just ensued. We've got cars going everywhere. Paul's actually doing quite well and he's avoiding most of this action. Most of the people tend to sort of straighten up and get through it. I mean, we've got a couple of people going off in the chicane and straight lining it. Someone's got reset. But Paul Tepic there, he just gets off into the gravel and he's got to sit there and wait while everybody else goes past.
And I believe Interfire really there was a passenger.
It's into F6.
Okay, I believe that's he was a passenger in that.
Yeah.
So would you say overall racing incident there?
Overall a racing incident, yeah, I don't think anyone was to blame. I think that Victor was doing his best to try and avoid any potential carnage. He didn't mean anything bad by it, but unfortunately that caught people out, and so they were just stowed into back.
We're back on board with Tepic here, who was in stone dead last after the qualifying there after the incident.
Oh, Paul's gone off.
So we'll see if he can make up any places during this lap.
Right, okay, well Tepic's up to 9th already, so that's not too bad. Oh, he's just gone past someone else there. That was Honest John going into the second Lesmo and down the straight. Let's see what happens from here. At the moment we've got Matty in first place, we've got Anton in second and Robbie in third. And Tepic's lining up Dave Speed for a go. Oh, goes around the outs. Oh no, had to brake there.
Looks like Dave Speed flying off there.
Yeah, Dave Speed went off. I don't know what happened there.
I think he got caught out there by the cars because you went up the middle. So there was a car to the left, a car to the right. I think just got caught out by the
Now Tepic's lining up Angus and just going into the...
So we're in a Scari now, aren't we?
No, this is Parabolica.
Oh, you should, okay.
Parabolica is the last corner in the circuit.
I'll stand corrected. Yep.
We're down onto the start finish.
So after the first lap there, we've just crossed the first line and Tepic up to 4th from last. I mean, this is a drive of a lifetime here, isn't it?
That's quite impressive, that is. I mean, to go from stone dead last to be up to 4th by the end of the first lap, that's quite remarkable. So we've got Matty in first, and Anton is now in second, and Jag is up to 3rd. And
so Tepic there is currently in 4th. Also, we should say, which we haven't, if you look on the bottom left of the gauge of the head-up display, you can see what tyres people are on. So RS is racing soft, and you have racing medium and racing hard. You can see there's slight wear on the soft. As we cycle through different players, you should be able to see different tyres. Strategy, is that important in this type of race?
Strategy is very important, because I mean the soft tyres, they're fast, they're grippy, but they're not going to last very long. I think you'll be lucky if you can get 7 laps out. So anyway, I noticed that Tepic had managed to get past his teammate Jag there at the moment, so Tepic's now up to 3rd.
And what we got? We've got Anton 2nd and Matty in 1st there. Anton moving pretty fast, very closing up on 1st place there. How far back is Tepic? We can't quite see. That's he's not into shot at the moment. And we've got, as you can see there, Anton's on soft tyres, as we were talking about that. He's just made a move. Has he made a move on Matty? Looks like he has.
Yep, looks like he's got it. So Anton moves into 1st place. That's quite a good drive from Anton there. I just saw Tepic just in the background.
I think we just saw Tepic in the background there, followed by Jag, Honest John, Robbie.
There's a slight tap there from Matty, but no harm done. Anton and Matty just carry on as they were. So that's all good. So Anton's now leading the race with Matty in 2nd, and Tepic, you just saw him there just coming around Curve Grande.
So he is catching up then. All to do for Tepic there, but what a fantastic drive so far, up to 3rd as we were saying from last. There's a little battle going on here between Anton and Matty there.
Yeah, and Tepic's just coming out of the De La Rogia chicane as they go into the Lesmos. Yeah, oh look, yeah, Tepic has closed right up there. He's half the gap in front of him.
And as we were saying about tyres there, just while we're on Matty, he is actually on the medium tyres. What sort of time difference are we looking at? Are we looking at sort of 10 seconds a lap or 5 seconds a lap?
I think we're only looking at something like a second a lap. But the
difference in the tyres.
Bearing in mind that the mediums are going to be much more durable, so he'll be able to go longer on them. And all the soft runners will have to stop beforehand.
So we'll have to see how that one pans out, hopefully at the pit stops. And
Matty's lost it.
There's a crash there at Parabolica, I believe.
That's right, at Parabolica. Yeah, Matty's just the back end just got away from him there. Okay, now we've got Tepic up into 2nd place. Not bad for someone who was stone dead last.
No, and then we're only on lap 4, and then you can see Tepic coming up. Not far. We've got Jag in 3rd there. 4th Honest John.
Oh, that's a good. It's a good run from McLaren there. We're having 2nd, 3rd, and 4th at the moment.
Yeah, we need to quickly touch base on that if we can for a minute. What's the deal with these teams? I see we've got Lotus, I think, and we've got Ferrari, and we've got McLaren. Is it they're just free ones from the 80s, are they, that have been used? Or?
Yeah, that's right. They're all sort of 1980s liveries or thereabouts. The Lotus is from 1987. The Ferrari, it's a Ferrari, the older one. The McLaren is from 87, I think, as well. So
all 80s then?
Yeah, it's an 80s car, stick an 80s livery in it.
And team-wise, I believe we have Anton, Robbie MR2 and Dave Speed, all as Ferrari, I think.
That's right, yes. And we've got Tepic and Honest John and Jag in the McLaren. Everyone else is at Lotus. Oh, we're cut to the pit stops now. I noticed that Anton's gone in, Tepic's gone in, and now we've got Honest John coming around Parabolica. Is he going to stay out and take the lead?
Let's hope so.
No,
he's coming through.
No, he's
also,
coming.
Looking at the fuel difference, not much difference there. You've got Tepic on 60, Anton on 58. So Tepic saved a bit more fuel. Oh, and we can see Anton's gone onto the hard tyre, switched to the hard tyre.
Yeah, Tepic's done the same thing. He's gone onto the hard tyre as well.
Robbie's just come through. So where are we now? So Anton's come out in 1st. Robbie's taken 2nd place. Where did Tepic come out? Did we see?
Tepic's come out in 3rd. That's not good news. If he's on fresh tyres, he's got the potential to being held up by Robbie. And
when we see Robbie's rear tyres are half warm.
Yeah, and the thing is though, is that Robbie is Anton's teammate, so Robbie could back up and slow Tepic up and halt his progress.
So this is disastrous for Tepic really to come out behind Robbie unless he can clear Robbie very quickly.
Either if he can clear him quickly or if he pits at the end of this lap. I mean, we're lap 7. I didn't notice what tyres Robbie was on. If he was on the soft, he's done a good job of making them last 7 laps.
I think he was on mediums.
So he should be able to go to sort of lap 10, lap 12 on the mediums.
There we go. We just saw it. Oh, he's on hards.
He's on hards.
He's on racing hards.
Okay.
So he hasn't made any stops, I would say, at this point then in the race, if he's on hards.
The problem with the hard tyres is they are a bit of a bold pull on this track.
Tebbick's closing up, as you can see there.
Yeah, he's on a softer compound of tyre compared to Robbie, but Robbie's tyres are still, even though the hard tyres, they're going to be like driving on ice. And the rear tyre wear, I don't think I'd want to be in Robbie's shoes right about now. The hard tyres, the slowest tyre, less grip, not good.
It looks like Robbie's just overtaken Anton there. I'm not quite sure what's gone on there.
And that immediately contradicts everything I've just said. I mean, it's worked out well for Robbie, it turns out.
But Anton's on hard tyres as well, albeit fresh ones. So it's all changed. If you look now, Tebbick is literally in the boot of second place there. Absolutely unbelievable, these three.
Yeah, and I'll have to take it back as well because I believe that Tebbick is also on the hard tyres. So I thought it was on the mediums, but clearly not. I think he's on the hards as well. I think I saw it in the pit stop. But he's lining Anton up for a move into the Della Rocha chicane. Anton loses a little bit and is a little bit slow on exit. That's going to compromise him going into the ledge mode, but Anton looks like he's held it.
Are these cars difficult for when you put the power down?
Oh, they have got the potential to just snap out on you just like that. You know, a bit of incorrect application of the throttle and the back end can just snap out away from them. They can be an absolute handful to drive.
So as we notice, we've got the top three very close together here. Can't see anybody else, so everybody else is a bit further back then, I take it.
Yeah, it's I mean the first three have just broken away. Oh, we've got a pit stop here. This is when we jumped further on in the race. That was Tebbick going in for a pit stop, but I think it was Paul cut in at the last moment, and that would have compromised Tebbick's pit entry.
Definitely, and we're on board with Jag in second, who's on racing softly. I think you have to use soft tyres at some point during this race. Jags obviously chose to use them at the end. Some people used them at the start. So who's coming out now? So we've got Tebbick coming out. Is he going to get out in front of Jag, is he? I think he's just about going to do it.
Well clear, he's put the hards on again. Tebbick made good use of the softs, I think, at the start. That's how he was able to make so many places up, because he had the grip. And so Jag's policy of being on the softer tyre towards the end might work out as well.
And we've just got him at the third, which is Anton, who's on mediums, but his rear tyres are about half worn, I noticed.
Yeah, the hard tyres are going to be a bit more durable. As I said earlier, though, they are going to be like driving on ice, so it's potentially Anton could close up here quite a fair bit with the better grip that he's going to have with the mediums.
I love this view we've got here. I've just got to jump in. The view on these side pods, or whatever you want to call them, is absolutely brilliant. And also, I want to say something about the game here. Obviously, Gran Turismo 7, it gets a lot of stick. I think you've got to praise it for graphics. And just looking now, like you can see the car wobbling, you can see the driver's head wobbling about a bit. When he leans into corner, he's actually leaning. You can't really fault the game for this, can you?
No, I mean, graphically the game is almost photorealistic. It's almost as if you're watching a real Formula 1 race.
Yeah, well, we won't go into the negatives in this one. We'll maybe touch on them in another race. But graphically, I think this kind of car really highlights it. As we're going around this corner, you can see the suspension going up and down on the wheel, going up and down. It looks absolutely amazing, and I don't think you can beat it. So that's one thing this game definitely has got right.
And a nice little trick there. Is that a trick? No, that's wrong. A nice little bit there is you can have a look in the mirrors. You can actually see the reflection while you're in the camera view. You can actually see the reflection behind in the mirrors. This game graphically is pretty good. So
there's we're lap 21 now, so not too many to go. What's going through Tebbick's mind, do you think, at this point? He's in first place. His teammate actually is in second, so he's quite safe. You've got Anton there in third, which is obviously the next competitive team. What's going through Tebbick's mind? Is he thinking this is easy, just go to the end, I've got it in the bag? I noticed Tebbick's rear tyres are getting quite worn now. On the back, they're getting sort of nearly half worn.
I think Tebbick, to be perfectly honest, is now just hoping and trying to concentrate and make sure he doesn't make any mistakes, because at this point in the race, one small mistake could throw it wide open. I mean, Jag's not too far behind, and it's just literally just a case of just trying to hit the apexes, make the gear changes on the right times, be gentle on the throttle so you don't cause the back end to snap out, because that could be disastrous.
So would you say that Tepik's backed off at this point, or is he just managing the race? He's in command of the race because he's first. He's not got a close threat behind, so it's just what you're saying is he's trying not to make a mistake. You know, he's just trying to do not necessarily the fastest lap, but just try and keep everything together for the few remaining laps and take that win.
Yeah, I mean, he's backed off just to make sure that he's not making mistakes. I mean, going all out for the fastest lap at this point in the race would be a foolish thing to do anyway, because there's so much to lose and little if nothing to gain.
Yeah, well, I just noticed as you said that actually Tepik has got the fastest lap right with a 1:32.6.
Yeah, that was done quite a few laps ago. You noticed the times he crossed the lap, then it was in the 1:35. So he has backed off just to make sure he can bring it home.
And he has got the safety net of his teammate behind. You know, even if his teammate catches, they're in the same team in this particular championship.
Yeah, I mean, individual glory is nice, but it's not particularly relevant. All this is mattering at the moment is about the teams. So even if Tepik would decide to suddenly back right off and let Jag take the win, that wouldn't be a problem, because McLaren would get a good haul of points with Ferrari sort of at the moment in third, fourth and fifth. That's quite a good showing.
Do we know what happened there with Honest John? I believe he's in sixth, at the moment. Do we know what happened? Did he have a particularly bad race or wrong strategy, do you think, maybe?
I've got no idea. I didn't see what happened to his race, unfortunately, but I was expecting him to be a bit higher up than that. But still, it's a good showing by everybody in these cars. These cars are an absolute handful to drive, and some people are being bold. Even I noticed Tepik there is running without traction control at the moment. I think. I'm not sure if Robbie was. I'm sure that Dave Speed was as well. He always runs without traction control.
Yeah, that's brave for the people that weren't using traction control. Definitely with this car. We've got funny enough there, Matty there in ninth, obviously a back marker, who was at the front of the race to start with.
Yeah.
After the accident, the incident at the first turn.
Yeah, he was quite up near the sharp end. But there, so we're entering the final lap now. Yeah,
so we've
still
still got
ultimately an easy win.
Yeah, so we've got Tepik.
What happened there? This is Matty. I think Tepik wasn't aware of where Matty was. I think Matty had pit stopped a few laps ago, and Tepik just hadn't seen that he was behind him, and didn't think he was going to, because he's backed off to make to make sure he gets to the end. Matty saw a chance to unlap himself and went for it just as Tepik turned in. But fortunately, no harm done. Both cars survived unscathed and lived to fight another day.
Yeah, no, and that's perfectly fine there. I don't think that was intentional at all.
No, purely
just a mistake. And that, as you say, no harm done. Nobody got spun off the track. So where are we now? We're at the Lesbos or whatever it is.
Lesbos. No, it's the second Lesmo. We're coming up to the Ascari chicane. And this is the final lap, so only just the Ascari chicane and Parabolica to go, and that was it.
And look at Tepik's rear tyres now; they're over half worn. This must be getting really twitchy to drive.
Yeah, that will be another reason why he's backed off, because the tyre wear. And you see that Jag's closing right up as well. This is almost going to be a photo finish for the McLaren team.
Well, it's a good 1-2 if they do finish like this.
Yeah, can't argue with a 1-2. So round Parabolica for the final time. And Tepik's going to take the win unless he spins out in this last corner. Hopefully not. No, he's got it nailed on. So Tepik takes the win.
Brilliant drive there from Tepik. I have to say, Jag there in second. We've got third, Anton. How far back is he? Quite a way back, surprisingly, actually. There,
almost half a lap back. We're on Robbie now.
Yeah, so, we've got then Robbie, and then Dave Speed. So looks like Ferrari 3, 4, 5.
That's a good finish for Ferrari, with Honest John coming in sixth.
Yeah.
And
and then we've got Angus, Victor, Matty and Peace and Co there, and we do have a DNF with Interfire, I believe.
That's right, yeah. But yeah, well done to absolutely everybody in that race, because that car is a handful and a nightmare. Well,
I hope you enjoyed this. It was absolutely brilliant. We are going to do some more. So hit the like if you liked it, and we'll see you in the next one. Where are we next week? I'm just trying to think.
I believe that next week we are in, I've almost forgotten myself. What was it?
No idea. So wherever we are next week, we're in the same car. So we'll see
it's Barcelona.
Barcelona, yes,
Catalonia.
Catalonia. We'll see you at Catalonia. Thanks for watching.